So what, you're staying in Smallville?
Right there. Across the street. Oh, it's got the perfect view.
I'm honored and a little bit terrified to welcome Michael Cudlitz, aka Lex Luthor, to the studio. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I've seen this character in so many iterations over the years, but I have to say that yours is honestly the first time that I've actually been scared of Lex Luthor, like genuinely afraid of this man.
I'm not scared of you.
You will be.
What was the conversation with you and the producers? I mean, were you like, we're just gonna totally reinvent this guy?
I don't know if there's a conversation about reinventing more than this is our world, this is where Lex is coming from. I think what we wanted to show was, with staying in the theme of the Superman and Lois, which is family, what would happen if someone did something to someone in Luthor's family? How would that change Lex? Having my daughter turn on me. It tested me in ways you can't possibly imagine. You know, a lot of what happens in the Superman and Lois story from season 1 deals with the parents dealing with the children. Now we have Lex. We know historically in the comics he does have a daughter. Names are changed to protect the innocent or the guilty. Elizabeth was the only person in my life that loved me. We know Lex as the billionaire. We know Lex as the, how he works in business and industry and how he moves those things along to structure his gains. What if we stripped all that down and we just got to Luthor, Lex as the person? Who we're dealing with Lex and the loss in his family. How would he process that? Your mother took her from me. Everything that's coming is justified.
Do you feel like Elizabeth is kind of his Achilles heel? Because I feel like as soon as she got
100%.
introduced into the story, it's like, I feel like that's when we really, really started to see his humanity come out.
100%. Yeah, no, he's, and that is what I hope that the fans get with this, is that he's a completely different person. You talk about daddy's wrapped around your finger. He says it to her literally in the closet when he sits down with her. He says, you are the only good thing I've done. And he knows that. He knows who he is. Based on his past, it's who he is, it's who he became. She shows him that there is something else. He created that. He loves what he has created. He's broken by her.
In 405 at the end, as we've seen, she gives him a choice. She says, drop your vendetta against Lois and I will stay in your life, or keep it going and you will lose me forever. And he chooses to keep his vendetta. He's been trying to find her for so long and he's willing to just drop her like this. What does that say about where he is now?
Not willing. He's broken. He's completely broken. He cannot give it up. There's a story. They have these. I wish I had looked it up beforehand to give the specifics, but I don't know if it's in Africa or South America. But they trap these monkeys, and the way they trap these monkeys is they have a jar, and there's a piece of fruit in it. What happens is the monkey reaches into the jar and grabs the fruit, makes a fist, and can't get its fist out. And that's how they trap the monkeys without hurting them. They will not let go of the fruit at all, even though they're going to get caught. And people come and catch them. They will not let go of the fruit. And that is the pain and the anger that he has towards Lois. If you or your sons ever set foot on my property again, you won't walk out.
What can we expect as much as you're able to say?
We are so packed so far as elements of the show, story-wise, elements of the show, teaser-wise, elements of the show, spoiler-wise, characters coming back that we want, that the audience wants, that the press has told them, they're not coming back. Everyone is coming back at some point, and some quite a bit. So I feel like you're not going to feel that they're missing. I don't think, as a fan of the show. I felt everyone's story was incredibly well served. But everybody's coming back, but they don't want to spoil when. But when they come back and when they go out and all of these stories, but like there's so little we can talk about. But it is all very exciting, and that's the thing is like people say, what's going to happen? It's like, oh my gosh, I was asked this morning, what is there a favorite moment? And I'm like, yes, there's a favorite moment, but I can't, it hasn't happened yet and I can't talk about it, but it's amazing when it happens.
The fact that your favorite moment has not yet happened yet is very exciting. That's all I need to know.
I think it's going to be a lot of people's favorite moment. I think it's going to be, it's a huge comic moment.
Oh my God. I'm so excited. All of Lex's...
It's actually a huge comic moment that wasn't, but should have been.
I feel like with Superman sort of incapacitated at the beginning of the season, the show could have been called Lex and Lois.
Because we joked about that.
We got so much of your, your interactions. Who's a more intimidating scene partner, the Man of Steel or Bitsy Tulloch?
Bitsy, intimidating? Yeah, because... at his core, I mean, this is for him to speak on, but from my perspective, at his core, Superman isn't necessarily intimidating. He's kind. Yeah, he's Superman, but one of his superpowers is going at it the other way. He's intimidating because of what he can do, not because of how he approaches it. Bitsy's intimidating because she'll tear your head off.
I mean, she's
say
so...
that with love.
If you have hurt him, I swear to God, I will put you away for the rest of your miserable life.
These characters have existed and will exist long after me. There's been many Lexes, and people have their version that they love, and it usually coincides with how old they are and where they are in their life and what Lex they've been exposed to, either through the comics or through media. And it's great. It's great. I love all the Lexes. Everyone is different, and I think everyone, is appropriate and specific in its own way.
Have you met any other Lexes?
I've met Rosenbaum, and he's great. Really, really smart dude. Really smart dude. And I've met Kevin Spacey, Kevin Spacey in The Negotiator. And I've met Clancy Brown.
You need me.
Like I need skin rash.
Well, I feel like we need a LexCon where we bring all the Lexes together.
I know. I talked to. He's going to kill me for this probably because we didn't. I don't think we had time to make it happen. But I talked to James Gunn about it, and I was like, we need to have a legion of Lexes, and have a big panel. And I maybe we'll do it next year. It'd be maybe you'll host it.
Let's put that out into the ether right now. I mean, look, Lex is timeless, so we can do
well,
this.
Well, the new Lex will be out. Holt will be doing his thing. And Superman will be out by then, so we'll be into a whole new thing. Who knows?
I'm curious about, because you still meet fans from The Walking Dead who are excited to meet you. If you knew how long that show's legs were, that it's still on in multiple spin-offs, do you almost wish that your character had not been killed off so that you could pop back up?
No, I don't. I was happy with when I went out, roughly speaking. The only thing and I've said this prior, the only thing I would have preferred from a character standpoint, I wish he would have lasted a little bit longer, so we would have seen Abraham and Sasha in all-out war. I think the fans would have loved that, and I don't think there was a need to take those two characters out in the same episode. There was a tremendous amount of bang for the buck. I think there was too much bang, and they probably lost some bucks because I think people tuned out after that. But I know why they did it, and I didn't think it was a good move from the beginning. Again, but that's like it's just. The showrunner, they run the show. It's like, I agree and disagree with people all the time. I don't think it was, crazy or something like that, but I just, I would have done it differently. I would have kept him around a little bit longer and faded that out.
Well, I'm glad he died either way because now we have you as Lex.
There we go.